Alright, it seems that I'm using most of my time as it is right now with my drones to test out new updates from DJI. And today is no exception, as we have gotten a new aircraft firmware, the 01000300, as well as a new DJI FLY app. That one is available for both iOS and Android, but not yet available for the RC smart controller as far as I can see. At least I haven't been able to get it to install it. So I brought out the trusty old RC N1 controller together with an Android device for us to test out all the new stuff that we have been given with this update. With the new aircraft firmware, there's a lot of new exciting stuff that is available. And one of the things is supposed to increase stability when you're using Hyperlapse. So of course we can use this, what is it called, renovation station here as an example for testing out the Hyperlapse. So let's just try and do that and put that at work while we talk about some of the other stuff that you will be getting here. And there are 4 options for the Hyperlapse. There's free, where you can just fly the drone around. There's circle, where you basically do a hyperlapse around a fixed point. There's a course lock, where you can fly a direction and then it will do the hyperlapse there. And finally, there's a waypoint mission mode that will allow you to fly to certain spots and then press, then sort of pre-record these waypoints and then get the drone to repeat those while recording a hyperlapse. Okay, so few things we need to make sure before we start doing this. We need to check the format down here. We don't want it in 1080p. We want it in, and then we just do the images in JPEG as it is right now. I would recommend switching it into Pro mode, especially so the exposure doesn't change while we are doing it. So let's just check a few things here. The first thing, let's see, white balance is another thing that we want to pull out of auto. We don't want anything to automatically adjust. And I think everything else is like it's supposed to do. And then we need to get, it's vastly underexposed as it is right now, because I'm actually using a filter that is way too dark as it is right now. But we can get by it's a polarized filter from Freewell. It's a ND32, and it's actually a little bit surprising that it is as dark as it is. But we can handle this. We are 1/60 in shutter speed. It's not that important with a hyperlapse because we are taking images, but it's one stop underexposed, which is good for us to preserve the highlights. Let's just do the circle thing here. And we just select a subject here, and that could be sort of the center of this. Let's fixate on something that doesn't move. So it's hard to see anything here in I'm missing the smart controller. That's way easier to operate here. So let's just use this thing in the middle here. And then I have some settings here where I can go in and define my the length of my hyperlapse here. Right now it's a 5-second hyperlapse we will get out of this. We are flying with a relatively low speed of 0.5 meters per second, and we are shooting images in 2 seconds intervals. Okay, so now we get that one going. I don't want it that way. I want it clockwise and not anti-clockwise. So let the drone do its thing there, and then we can talk about some of the other things, which is probably the biggest update that you have been waiting for if you have plunged in and make the investment for the DJI RC. Because with the new firmware update, and also with the update of the RC Pro controller, you will be able to fly the Mini 3 with that device. And that is of course super nice. I always like the idea of having one remote that sort of makes you control all your drones instead of having all sorts of fiddly with phones on top and etc. So I hope you will really appreciate that update. Let's just fast this forward. In case you're interested,
shooting is nearing completion.
Okay. Yes. Shooting is near completion. If you want a full tutorial on the hyperlapse function here inside where we are testing out all the features, then let me know in the comments below. So now the hyperlapse is completed. So I would assume that it's working on finalizing it. Yes, there was the play icon. And then if I go here under saved images here, we should be able to play back the hyperlapse that we just recorded. So look at this. Those are so cool, those hyperlapse. And of course you have the option to save all the images as RAWs, so you could process it outside the DJI app if you don't think that it's doing a sufficient job. So the last thing that you're getting with the firmware is that you are getting improved stitching of the sky when you're doing panoramas. If you have been doing any panoramas with the Mini 3 before, you would know that the sky often looked like something taken out of a Picasso painting, and hopefully DJI has improved that with this firmware update. So let's just raise the drone to a significant height here, maybe 60 meters here, or a little bit more than 60. Stop the video here, and then let's do a sphere that will include the maximum amount of sky that is available here. So let's just go here on the panel. JPEG, we don't need the JPEGs, at least not for this example, and it's in sphere, and we are pressing go. So now it will do whatever it needs to do. And this is super interesting because I actually put it in auto. So I don't know if it compensates for the exposure when it's doing this, as the filter that we brought on the drone was a little bit dark. I will make both the hyperlapse as well as the images that the drone here is taking available through the Tech Drone Media website, so you can download it and inspect it for yourself if you want to investigate what is going on. So it's very busy. So in that way you can download those images for yourself and the video clips, and then you can see if you can spot the improvements by yourself. I will of course leave a link for that in the description below. So 50. So I think it has taken all the images now, so now it's just working on producing something for us. So right now we should have an image here, which is a spherical one. So now we have this, and it looks, at least, it looks nice, but it's hard to judge here on the phone if it's actually improved. But it, just from the looks of it, the blue sky is changing across the sky here. This is not the drone's fault. This is actually a side effect of using the ND filters, the polarized filters. The angle that hits the filter, that changes the sort of amount of polarization. So, but the stitching, that looks kind of neat, at least from what I can see here. But again, I will put those images so you can download them and inspect them. So now the drone is coming back to us, and then we can basically, there's two things that we need to check today. We need to check if the flight logs have been synchronized when the drone lands, and we are gonna go on the camera roll here, if I can figure out how to do that. And that's actually, instead of saving the images to this album here, they will store them directly on the device camera roll. This is just to make sure that everything is like it's supposed to be. Let's just check if the firmware, the aircraft firmware is 01000300. The RC firmware, which needs to be updated as well, is 04140300. We have the app version is 1612. So let's just check if the flight has been synchronized to the cloud, as I have connected this to my cell phone, so it should actually synchronize by itself, which was one of the issues that was with this app before. Let me just jump in here. So you can see that we had a flight today. It was 671 meters, altitude 62, and it was 16 minutes. And we were flying around here in this area. Maybe I can just change it so we get the satellite photo. So you can see there's the water tower and the sort of the spot that we flew. So everything has been synchronized, and of course it's available here on the local device. So I would assume that it has been synchronized to the cloud because of the little cloud icon that is located here next to the image. Let me know if I'm wrong on that part actually, because I'm not really sure if this is the case. Oh, loading aircraft logs. Those we don't need today, luckily. Then, according to the release notes, images, instead of being stored into the local app folder, like the ones that you see here, if I go under album here, all of the images should be synchronized automatically into the app of the device. Let's just go and check if that is the case. And this is an Android phone, so I'm a little bit out of office, so to speak. So if I go under the DJI album here, there is something that it's trying to synchronize here, but I can't really see if it's available. It says it's unable to play supported format. I'm not able to see the files that are stored on the local device in the camera folder. Maybe I am looking in the wrong place, but at least those are not visible to me as it is right now. Maybe you know the secret trick how to get access to the photos in the camera roll, then let me know in the comments below. All right, this was a super fast test flight of the new DJI FLY app as well as the new firmware. And it seems everything is pretty much stable as it is. Of course, apart from I couldn't get the images to synchronize, which is probably me that have made some kind of mistake on the way. Everything seems to work like intended. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then feel free to give it a like. If you didn't like it, feel free to press the dislike button twice. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you around.